Hello, welcome once again to Lehto's Law. I'm Steve Lehto. One of those stories crossed the newswire recently that caused many people to send it to me, and so I cannot ignore this. Now, it's a story out of Australia, and I love my friends in Australia. In fact, I frequently am a guest on a radio show down there called Road Ramblings with Chris Goodsell. And he is the host, and I talk to him about once a month with a thing called the American Car Report. And we talk about cars and the American auto industry. And the fun part is, like I always say, I often think they have me on just for my funny accent. But he and I will often talk before or after we do my little report, and we talk about everything and anything happening. And it's fun to have a phone pal, I guess, in a country that far away. But here's a story out of Australia. A vegan sues her neighbors for barbecuing in their own backyard because she says, quote, she can't go out there. So this is exactly what it sounds like, but in Australia. So a woman who is a vegan, that means I guess that she doesn't eat barbecued meat, is upset that her neighbors apparently barbecue meat. And when she goes outside, she smells it. And the smell is so repulsive to her that it has become, in effect, a hazard. So Scylla Garden, a vegan massage therapist, what else would you be doing? From Girrawheen, a suburb of the Western Australian city of Perth, thought that her neighbors were using a barbecue as a new front in a long-running war between neighbors. In other words, she thinks they are actually barbecuing out of spite. They've put the barbecue there so I smell fish. All I can smell is fish. I can't enjoy my backyard. I can't go out there, she told 9 News Perth. Now, here's the thing. I have a barbecue, and I actually, in the summertime, do use it almost daily, almost every day. I'd say on average about 5 days a week. I don't often use it on the weekends. And, if I'm not around, I don't use it. But I use it quite often in the summertime. But I use it and I put it away. So if you lived near me, which would put you in a very, very small group of people, but if you lived near me and could actually smell my barbecue, which would be quite a feat because the people who live nearest to me are 100 yards away, by the time the smoke wafts over in your direction, it would have dissipated quite a bit. So I'm wondering how close these people live together. And I also wonder, are they literally just leaving their barbecue going like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just cranking out the fish smell? Or is it something they do where they make fish and that's it? Carden believes the barbecuing is not just a family preparing their dinner, but part of a campaign to irritate her, which is why she filed a lawsuit in the Supreme Court of the state of Western Australia, claiming that her neighbors Tone Vu and his wife and children breached residential laws. She says it's deliberate. That's what I told the courts. It's deliberate. Now, here's the thing. If they broke the law, call the police. If they broke some kind of residential rule, there's got to be somebody who enforces the rules. Call them. But she filed a lawsuit. So Carden claims all she wanted is to live my life in peace. And apparently her peace does not involve barbecue smells from other people. She also alleged that it was then more than just the smell of grilling fish that was disturbing her. She also took issue with cigarette smoke in her garden because the fumes waft over into her yard. She's also frustrated by the sound of the neighbor's children playing basketball and making noise in the yard. So it's not just the barbecue smell, it's the cigarette smoke, it's the children playing basketball, and they're making noise in their yard. The legal saga has dragged on since 2017, according to The Guardian. And while Carden sought relief from the smells and noise, her case was thrown out by a tribunal and a Supreme Court judge who sided with the neighbors. What they are doing is living in their backyard and their home as a family. And if you own stuff, you're allowed to use it within reason. I can't blow up stuff on my property all at all hours. Or slaughter animals in my front yard at all hours. But I can make noise in my yard if it's me just doing what I do. So Carden wasn't ready to give up, though, and she filed an appeal, which, too, was dismissed by the court. Now, Carden may not be satisfied with the outcome of her legal case. Her neighbors removed the barbecue from the yard, and he banned his children from playing basketball. But she says she's going to continue her legal fight, even though they've stopped barbecuing. So I'm sure you heard, if you heard about the first part of the story, that when this hit social media, the fans of the barbecue took the internet and suggested that they should all gather around this woman's house and have a gigantic barbecue to celebrate the right to barbecue. It's a God-given right. And so it was all over social media that if you had a barbecue and you're in the area, swing on by. Let's set up barbecues around this woman's house and let's throw a big barbecue in her honor. Well, I'll have you know that the protest was canceled because she threatened those people with, you guessed it, legal action. After thousands of people signed up for a community barbecue outside the home of an Australian vegan, the group's organizer canceled the event after getting threats from the women's legal team, which is being reported in the news. Scylla Carden, of course, of Perth, like I said, is the one who complained about the smell of the fish. The courts threw her case out. She appealed it. They threw it out again. And a Facebook group named Community Barbecue for Scylla Carden was created in protest of what organizers called her attempt to destroy a good old Aussie tradition. Scylla Carden has a problem with her neighbors cooking meat on their barbecue because she's a vegan, recently taken them to Supreme Court. Don't let Scylla destroy a good old Aussie tradition. Join us for a community barbecue in protest of her actions and help Scylla Carden get some pork on her fork. Which sounds dirty, and it might be. But despite a disclaimer that the October 19th event would be a peaceful protest, the Facebook page was shut down after some 7,000 people said they were going and another 16,000 saying they were interested, according to news.com.au. Carden's attorney issued a statement on Facebook warning they would contact the police if anyone showed up. Any person who seeks to attend Ms. Carden's property on Saturday, October 19th, or at any other time in relation to this event or matter will be referred to the police on the ground of trespass. The event was quickly canceled, and event organizer Bailey Mason said it was due to logistics and, of course, trespassing concerns. As many of you know, this event has far too many logistical concerns to actually come to fruition. We do not condone harassment of Mrs. Carden or trespass onto her land, he said, according to, again, news.com.au. A second Facebook event appeared shortly after the initial one was removed, but I suspect it's going to turn out to be like those guys who wanted to storm Area 51. A lot of stuff in the news, a lot of stuff on social media, and then it kind of fizzles out. But it's kind of funny, you know? So I would suggest what you all do is go out and in your own special way, throw a big barbecue in your own backyard and just think of this poor vegan who has neighbors who barbecue and play basketball and have children who make noise. And just maybe a moment of silence for her and then a big old chunk of one of the biggest meaties you can find. And barbecue to your heart's content. So that's the story of the vegan in Australia. Questions, comments, put them below. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.